Hello everyone, I am Mangesh Joshi. Now in this video we will cover sampling techniques. So these are our lecture objectives. So we will cover probability sampling tech methods and non-probability sampling methods. So this probability sampling method is also called as random sampling methods, and non-probability sampling methods is also called as non-random sampling methods. So let us understand difference between the random sampling methods and non-random sampling method. So in a random sampling, every unit of the population has the same probability of being included in the sample. That is, for example, you are having a population with, let us say, 10 people or 100 people. So each people will have equal probability. If there are 100 people, then each person will have the probability of selection is equals to 1 by 100. Secondly, the chance mechanism is used in the selection process. Third, it eliminates bias in the selection process because it isn't random in nature. Now in non-random sampling, every unit of population does not have the same probability of being included in the sample. Because if we want to explain this, suppose there are 100 people in population, and just assume that you have 4 friends in this population, right? So if you collect the data from these 4 friends, which you already know, and it is easier for you to collect the data from these 4 friends, then the other 96 people will not have the same probability of getting selected. You are preferring your friends over other 96 people. So that's why it is called as non-random sampling. So every unit of the population does not have the same probability of being included in the sample. So because of this, it has the selection bias, not appropriate data collection methods for more statistical methods. So this non-random sampling is usually used for explorative data analysis, where you know nothing about the population and you just want to start your study. So in that case, you can start your study with non-random sampling. So sampling is a technique of selecting individual members or a subset of the population to make statistical inferences from them and estimate characteristics of the whole population. So there are 4 methods in probability sampling methods as well as in non-probability sampling methods. So first method, which is widely used, that is simple random sampling. So suppose you have a population and you select this colored people over here, represented over here. So there is no sequence in selection. You have selected this person first, then after 4 you have selected this person, then after 2 you have selected this person, then after a 9th you have selected this 4th person, then 3. So there is no pattern in this selection. So that's why it is called as simple random sampling. So you have selected some people from the population of say 1000 people, right? This is simple random sampling. The next type of probabilistic sampling is systematic sampling. Now, in the systematic sampling, there is a formula that is k equals to n by n, where capital N represents the population size and small n represents the sample size. And k is nothing but the size of selection interval. So suppose if the k comes out to be 4, right? So you will select one person after every 4%, right? So this is systematic sampling. So you will select first person this, then after 4 you select second, third, and so on. So the interval is fixed. That's why it is called as systematic sampling. The third type of probability sampling is stratified sampling. Now to use this sampling method, you divide the population into subgroups called strata based on the relevant characteristics: gender, age, range, income bracket, job role, etc. Now it allows you to draw more precise conclusion by ensuring that every subgroup is properly represented in the sample. So for example, there is a mixture in population like let's say men and women. So you can form the subpopulation by selecting 10 female and 10 male from this population as a subpopulation, right? So you have differentiated this population into male and female. So this is called as strata. So in this case, we have taken the gender. So you can also have age group ranges, right? Or income bracket, or job role, or job responsibility, right? The examples are also given in this. That is, whenever you are doing study of income, height, weight, spending, or shopping time required by this group, so you can study the shopping time taken by female and shopping time taken by male by using stratified sampling techniques. The next type of sampling is clustered sampling. In clustered sampling, there are two stages, that is single stage or two stage. There are two parts. So in the single stage clustered sampling, so you will form the clusters depending on the geographical area, right? Or any other parameter. So you will be selecting one cluster out of this n number of clusters randomly. So suppose I select this cluster, and then I will measure the required characteristics, such as maybe if you are doing some research on shopping times, right? So you can select these, you can measure the shopping time taken by all these 5 members in this cluster, right? This is single stage. Now in two stage sampling, you will select the clusters randomly. That is, for example, if you select this cluster and you select randomly these two persons from this cluster, again this is randomly. Similarly, you select one more cluster and again you select two persons from this cluster randomly. So this is two-stage cluster sampling. So one example you can take in this case, that these clusters are, suppose this first cluster is representing the Nagpur region and this cluster representing the Pune region, right? So you may be investigating the time taken to shop in a mall by Nagpur person and by Pune person. So in this case, you can use this clustered two-stage sampling. Let us move on to non-probabilistic sampling methods. So non-probability sampling techniques are often appropriate for exploratory and qualitative research. In this type of research, the aim is not to test hypotheses about a broad population, but to develop an initial understanding of a small or under-researched population. So in this case, bias in the observation is the major risk in all of the non-probability sampling methods. So let us start with the convenience sampling. So as name suggests, convenience. So convenience sampling is perhaps the easiest method of sampling because participants are selected based on the availability and willingness to take part in the research study. Useful results can be obtained, but the results are prone to significant bias because those who volunteer to take part in different may be different from those who choose not to volunteer, and the sample may not be representative of the population. So since, for example, you have selected the criteria as, let us say, your distance from your work and area home, right? Other criteria may be subjects are ready to participate. Third criteria for selection may include you already know the subjects or they are your students, colleagues or friends. So as per your convenience of data collection, you have chosen as per your convenience in this sampling technique. The second type of non-probabilistic sampling is judgmental or purposive sampling. So this is based on the intention or the purpose of the study. Only those elements will be selected from the population which suits the best for the purpose of our study. Suppose if we want to understand the thought process of people who buy expensive clothes, the criteria of sample selection would be how often do you go shopping or how much do you spend on clothes each month. So you can ask these questions to the population and you can select the persons who often go to shopping. So if a person spends too much on his or her clothes, then you will select him or her as your sample for study. The next type of sampling is snowball sampling. So if the population is hard to assess, snowball sampling can be used to involve participants through other participants like a chain. So why snowball? So as name indicates, initially your population or your sample size is very less, for example 1. As snowball falls to the downward direction through the slope, it gets bigger and bigger, right? So this is the second, this is the third size, this is the fourth size, and this is the fifth size. So as snowball rolls down the hill, the size of the snowballs gets bigger and bigger. The similar logic can be used in snowball sampling, that if you have access to only suppose 4 people, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you will ask these 4 people to involve other participants in your study as well, because your reach is limited to only these 4 people. So these 4 people will try to include participants they know in the research study. The last sampling technique is quota sampling. So quota sampling means to take a very tailored sample that is in the proportion to some characteristics of a population. For example, you could divide a population by the state they live in, income or education level or gender. The population is divided into groups called as strata, and samples are taken from each group to meet a quota. Now care is taken to maintain the correct proportion representative of the population. For example, if your population consists of 45% female and 55% male, your sample should reflect those percentages. So quota sampling is based on researchers' judgment and is considered as non-probability sampling. So let us understand this with the help of an example. Suppose your population contains 45% female and 55% male, right? So you have selected out of this population few samples, and these samples are based on the judgment of the researcher, right? But you have to take care that your subpopulation or sample should contain 45% female and 55% male. So you can say that the quota for the female is 45% and quota for the male is 55%. So you have to fulfill this quota so that your sample will represent your population. So what is the difference between stratified sampling and quota sampling is the selection of individual in quota sampling is done on the judgment basis, but in stratified sampling the selection of individuals is done on the basis of random nature. So you will randomly select anyone with equal probability of selection. So this is quota sampling. So next is, what are the errors in sampling? So data from non-random samples are not appropriate for analysis by inferential statistical methods. Sampling errors occur when the sample is not representative of the population. So, and what are the non-sampling errors? That is, if you have missing data, recording, data entry, and analysis errors. Then poorly conceived concepts, unclear definitions, and defective questionnaires. Response errors occur when people so not know, will not say, or overstate in their answers. Suppose, for example, you are doing a survey on the average salary in Nagpur region. So just to hide the salary, the employee may quote you the higher salary than its existing salary. So it may cause errors in your research study. So I hope you have understood the concepts of sampling, the various techniques of sampling, probabilistic, non-probabilistic sampling and its types. So thank you for watching the video. If you are having any request, you can send it to untwistedlearning@gmail.com. Have a good day and happy learning.